Welcome back to Awesome Possum Hobbies and Games. I am Chris, and today we're back with another box opening. This one is Magic the Gathering, Universes Beyond, Fallout, and this one's Hail Caesar! Let's go ahead and open it up, see what it's all about. Here we are with another box opening. This one is the Fallout Commander deck, which is Caesar, Legion's Emperor, Hail Caesar. And this includes a collector booster sample, a pack, plus 2 legendary traditional foils, and it is, of course, the 100 card deck plus the thick stock card. The other thing that is, these things are currently out there. I believe the price point for them is $49.99, and you can probably find them. I know my local game store is actually charging a premium for them because they did not get their full allotment, and they're charging $59.99, and they were still selling out, which was crazy. I got these a whole set of 4 for, I believe, $160 off of TCG Player. Their pre-release weekend, which if you pre-ordered early, you had a chance to pick them up for significantly less than what people are paying for them now, which is great. So let's go ahead and start opening Caesar, Legion's Emperor. This thing is a lot of packaging that is a pain to open. Let's go ahead and see if we can get everything out in one piece. So Fallout is a game that's near and dear to me. I've been playing Fallout 4 since I think I bought my last Xbox. Not the Xbox X, but the one before that, or Xbox One, just for Fallout. Includes a cardboard box. Also includes in here nice little spin down life counter, which I never use those anymore. There is the collector booster and some punch out cards, some tokens on the side, and of course the little thing that talks about playing the deck, how it plays, and commander rules. And of course, the reason why we got this, let's go ahead and zoom in. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Get opening. Everything else, except for this stuff, goes pretty much in the recycle. Go ahead and open this sucker up and get going. First card is Caesar, Legion Emperor. This is a white, red, and black, and 1 colorless 4/4 legendary creature, human soldier, and whenever you attack, you may sacrifice another creature. When you do, choose to create 2 1/1 red and white soldier creature tokens with haste, and they are tapped and attacking. Or you could draw a card and you lose a life, or you can Caesar Legion. This card deals damage equal to the number of creature tokens you control to target opponent. Does all kinds of stuff. It's a great card. Good card. Interesting to see what I can do with that card. Next one is Mr. House, President and CEO for red, white, and black. 0/4 legendary artifact creature, human, and whenever you roll a 4 or higher, create a 3/3 colorless robot artifact creature token. If you rolled a 6 or higher, instead create that token and a treasure token. Then you pay for it and tap to sacrifice pay for it, tap, roll a 6-sided dice plus an additional 6-sided dice for each mana value from treasures you spend to activate this ability. Fun little rolling card. This card is Gary Clone, 1 white, 1 colorless. It's a 1/3 creature human citizen with squad 2. As an additional cost to cast this spell, you may pay 2 any number of times to create that many tokens that are copies of it. We haven't seen this ability since the Lord of the Rings holiday set, and that elf was really good. Let's see what the next ability is, though. Whenever this card attacks, each creature you control named Gary Clone gets +1/+0 until end of turn. So if you have 5 of them, each one's going to activate off of the other one for each one that's attacking. So if you have 5 of them attacking, each one's going to get +5/+0, making them 6/3s, all for 12 mana. That's not terrible. It's interesting. Butch Deloria, Tunnel Snake, 1 black, 1 colorless legendary creature, human rogue, menace. It's a 2/2. Tunnel Snake rules. Whenever Butch Deloria Tunnel Snake attacks, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn for each other rogue and or snake you control. You can pay a black and colorless. Put a menace counter on target creature. It becomes a rogue and additional to its other types. Fun, interesting card. I think that could see some play later on. Ruthless Rad Rat. It's a new rat. 2 black, 1 colorless, 2/2. It has squad. Exile 4 cards from your graveyard to create a copy. And then Menace. It's a 2/2. So, you know, if you have a bunch of cards in your graveyard, you can create lots of rats. Next one's Craig Booney. Novak Guard. 1 red, 1 white, 1 colorless. Legendary creature, human soldier. Reach with lifelink for a 3/3. 1 for my baby. Whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, put 2 quest counters on this card. When you do, this card deals damage equal to the number of quest counters on it up to 1 target creature, unless that creature's controller has this card. Deal that much damage to them instead. Interesting. Legate Lannis, Caesar's Ace. 1 red, 1 black, 2 colorless. It's a 2/2 legendary creature, human soldier. Decimate. When it enters the battlefield, each opponent sacrifices a 10th of their creatures they control, rounded up. Rounded up is the key word there. And then whenever an opponent sacrifices a creature, you have to put a +1/+1 counter on it. So if they have 20 creatures on the board, they have to sacrifice 2. If they have 5 creatures on the board, they have to sacrifice 1. They have 10 creatures on the board, they have to sacrifice 1. It's interesting. They have 500 tokens on the board. Oh, gets kind of out of control. White Glove Gourmet. 1 white, 1 black, 2 colorless, 2/2, and creature human noble. And when it enters the battlefield, you create 2 1/1 soldier creature tokens at the beginning of your end step. If another human died under your control this turn, create a food token. That will not work very well in the Hobbit stack because it has to have human. Charisma Bobblehead, 3 colorless artifact. Bobblehead taps to reduce 1 mana of any color, and then pay 4 and tap create X 1/1 soldier tokens where X is the number of bobbleheads you control. This is one of the better bobbleheads out there. It's pretty good. Luck Bobblehead, 3 colorless artifact. Bobblehead tap produce 1 mana of any color, and then pay 1 and tap roll X 6-sided dice where X is the number of bobbleheads you control. Create a tap creature token for each even results. If you roll 6 exactly 7 times, you just win the game. Survivor Medkit, 1 colorless mana artifact. Pay 1, tap, and choose one that hasn't been chosen. Stim pack, you can draw a card. Fancy Lads Snack Cakes, create a food token. Or right away, target player loses all rad counters, sacrifice the medkit. Impassioned Orator, we've seen this one, it's a great reprint. Intangible Virtue, another great reprint. Bastion of Remembrance, 1 black, 2 colorless. Enchantment, when it enters the battlefield, you get to create 1/1 white human soldier token, and whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life and you gain a life. Deadly Dispute. Morbid Opportunist. Human Rogue, 1 black, 2 colorless creature. Human Rogue, 1/3, one or more creature died. You can draw a card. This ability only triggers once per turn. Pitiless Plunderer, great reprint. Much needed reprint. General's Enforcer, 1 white, 1 black, no colorless. Legendary creatures you control have Indestructible, great reprint. White, black, 2 colorless, exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature token, create a 1/1 human soldier token. It's a 2/3. Not bad reprint. Heroic Reinforcements, another reprint. Wear and Tear, another reprint. Arcane Signet. Skull Clamp, another great reprint. Soul Ring, Talisman of Convictions, Talisman of Hierarchy, Talisman of Indulgence, Ash Baron, Command Tower, Evolving Wilds, Memorial to Glory. Arshan, the Founder, 1 white, 2 colorless legendary creature, human soldier, 1/4 enlist. As this creature attacks, you may tap a non-attacking creature with you control without summoning sickness. When you do, add its power to this creature's till end of turn. whenever a creature attacks, whenever a creature you control attacks, if it enlisted creature is, if it enlisted a creature this turn, the creature that attacked gains double strike until end of turn. If that creature's power 4 or greater, you get to draw a card. That does a lot. That's a lot of words on that card. I have to say, I butchered the hell out of it, but man, if I had a list deck, that would go straight into it. Battle of Hoover Dam, 1 white, 3 colorless. Enchantment. As Battle of Hoover Dam enters the battlefield, choose NCR or Legion NCR. At the beginning of your end step, return target creature card with mana value of 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. So if you have some way of putting cards in your graveyard, since you're playing red, there's always great ways of discarding cards. You're playing black, there's always ways of discarding cards. Playing white, not so much. But you're able to feed cards in your graveyard to be able to get some card advantage. Legion, whenever a creature you control dies, you put +2/+1/+1 counters on target creature you control. I think that first ability could be abused big time. Overseer of Vault 76. 1 white, 2 colorless, legendary creature, human advisor. First contact, whenever this card or another creature with power 3 or less enters a battlefield under your control, put a quest counter on this card. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may remove 3 quest counters from among permanents you control. When you do, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control, and they gain vigilance till end of turn. Securetron Squadron. 1 white, 1 colorless. It's a 2/2 artifact creature robot with squad 3. Vigilance, whenever a creature token enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. Wow, that could be abusive. Sierra, Nuka's biggest fan. 1 white, 3 colorless, legendary creature, human citizen, 3/4. This the Nuka-Cola Challenge. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, put a quest counter on this card and create a food token. Whenever you sacrifice a food, target creature you control gets +X/+X, where X is the number of quest counters on Sierra. That might go in my my Hobbit deck. We'll see. Vault 75, middle school. 2 white, 2 colorless. That's it. Enchantment Saga. Chapter 1, exile all creatures with power 4 or greater. Chapter 2, put a +1/+1 counter in each creature you control. For Chapter 3, do the same thing. Yes Man, Personal Securetron. For 1 white, 2 colorless, legendary artifact creature, robot. Tap, target opponent gains control of Yes Man, Personal Securetron. When they do, you draw 2 cards, and you put a quest counter on this card. Activate only on your turn. Wild card. When this card leaves the battlefield, if its owner creates a tapped 1/1 white soldier creature token for each quest counter on it. Going on to the next card. Vats. Man, I loved abusing Vats when I played Fallout. For 2 black, 2 colorless, instant split second. So as long as there's spells on the stack, players can't cast spells or activate abilities that aren't mana abilities. Choose any number of target creatures with equal toughness. Destroy the chosen creatures, which is great because you can just choose, oh, you got a bunch of 2/2s. I can kill all of them with 1 spell. Or you can just target one thing and just flat out destroy it. This is a great card. Great card. Wasteland Raider. 2 black, 2 colorless, creature, human, mercenary. Squad 2. And it's a 4/3. Whenever Wasteland Raider enters the battlefield, each player sacrifices a creature. Man, you get a few copies of that. The card's amazing. Mysterious Stranger, and I love investing points into that skill. Mysterious Stranger is 2 red, 2 colorless, 3/2, creature, human rogue with flash. When it enters the battlefield, for each graveyard with an instant or sorcery card in it, exile target instant or sorcery card from that graveyard. If 2 or more cards are exiled this way, choose one of them at random and copy it. You may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. It's good for big multiplayer games and late game. Powder Gangster. 1 red, 2 colorless, creature, human, 2/2 with squad 2, and when it enters the battlefield, destroy up to X target destroy up to 1 target artifact. So you squad up a bunch of times, you can destroy a bunch of things. Rose, Cutthroat Raider. Rose is a great card. I can't wait to put this in my red deck. 2 red, 2 colorless, 3/2 legendary creature artifact creature robot with first strike raid. At the end of combat on your turn, if you attack this turn, create a junk token for each opponent you attacked. Whenever you sacrifice a junk, you get to add a red mana. Wow. So creating junk is fantastic, especially because it's an artifact with tap, sacrifice this artifact, exile the top card of your library. You may play that card this turn, activate only as a sorcery. So you need to be able to draw some extra cards. Card draw is amazing, especially in red. Having all you have to do is attack. Sign me up. That's a great card. Rose, straight into my red deck. Thrill Kill Disciple. 1 red, 2 colorless creature, human, squad 1. Pay a colorless and discard a card. Oof. When it dies, create a junk token. Interesting. So if you have land, get rid of some of that extra land in your hand. Wild Wasteland. 1 red, 2 colorless. Skip your draw step at the beginning of your upkeep. Exile the top 2 cards of your library. You may play those cards this turn. Great card, especially in a red deck. Boomer Scrapper. 1 red, 1 black, 1 colorless. 1/1. Human Soldier. When this card enters the battlefield or attacks, you lose 1 life and create a junk token. So whenever a token you control leaves the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on this card. Amazing. You got food tokens? Great. You got treasure tokens? Fantastic. You got junk counters? Boomer Scrapper is going to be out of control. Colonel Autumn. 1 white, 1 black, 1 colorless, 2/3 legendary creature, human soldier with lifelink and exploit. So when this card enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice a creature. Other legendary creatures you control have exploit, and whenever a creature you control exploits a creature, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. So those tokens that you've been creating get to become lots of counters. Descendamona, Freedom's Edge. 1 red, 1 white, 2 colorless, legendary creature, human rogue, vigilance. When Descendamona, Freedom's Edge attacks, target creature card in your graveyard that's an artifact, has a mana value 3 or less, gains escape till end of turn. The escape cost is equal to the mana cost plus exile 2 other cards from your graveyard. It's a lot. Elder Arthur Maxon. 1 white, 1 black, 1 colorless. It's a 4/2 creatures, legendary creature, human knight, and creatures and tokens you control have training. And so whenever training means whenever a creature token you control attacks with another creature with greater power, put a +1/+1 counter on that token. Since he has 4, you're going to be able to train for quite a while. And sacrifice another creature. Elder Maxon gains indestructible till end of turn. So it's a great card. Kellogg Dangerous Mind. I am a fan of this guy. 1 black, 1 red, 1 colorless, legendary creature, human mercenary, 3/2. First strike and haste, and when it attacks, you get to create a treasure token, and then sacrifice 5 treasures. Gain control of target creature for as long as you control of Kellogg. Activate only as a sorcery. Fantastic in a treasure deck. MacCready Lamplight Mayor. This card is interesting. Whenever you attack, whenever a creature you control with power 2 or less attacks, it gains Skulk till end of turn. It can't be blocked by creatures with greater power, and whenever a creature with power 4 or greater attacks, its controller loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. So it rewards you for playing the Weenie deck. The Nipton Lottery. 1 red, 1 black, 2 colorless. It's a sorcery. Choose a creature at random. You gain control of that creature till end of turn. Untap it. It gains haste till end of turn. Then destroy all other creatures. Great. You get something and then everything else is going to die. I don't know if that's a good card or not. If you have some way of sacrificing that creature after you attack with it, might be a great removal spell, especially because it is a black and red spell. Paladin Elizabeth targeting. 1 white, 1 red, 1 colorless, 3/2 legendary creature, human knight. Battalion. When this card and at least 2 other creatures attack, draw a card, then you may put a creature card with mana value X or less from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, where X is its power. If you can pump her somehow, you can start putting some biggies in play for free. Vault 11, Voter's Dilemma. 1 white, 1 black, 2 colorless. It's a saga. Chapter 1. For each opponent, you create a 1/1 human soldier creature token. Chapter 2. Chapter 3. Each player secretly votes for up to 1 creature, then those votes get revealed. If no creatures got votes, each player draws a card. Otherwise, destroy each creature with the most votes or tied for the most votes. Interesting. Eddie, Lonesome Eyebot. 3 colorless for legendary artifact creature robot. It's a 2/1 flyer. And Edie, my love. Whenever you attack, if the number of attacking creatures is greater than the number of quest counters on Edie, Lonesome put a quest counter on it. Then you pay 2 colorless, sacrifice, draw a card, then discard an additional card for each quest counter. Draw a card, then draw an additional card for each quest counter on Edie. So it rewards you for drawing lots of cards. This card's Desolate Mire. Pay 1 and tap it to produce a white and a black. Good land. Diamond City. This card's great. I need to get a copy of this specifically for my Eldrazi deck, though it's iffy. When it enters the battlefield, you put a shield counter on it, and then you can tap to produce a colorless mana, or you can tap, move a shield counter from Diamond City onto the target creature, activate only if 2 or more creatures enter the battlefield under your control this turn. So, Eldrazi, you're not necessarily going to be buying more than 1 or 2 of them a turn, but if you do, you are able to save one of your big ones by putting a shield counter on. Next one's Captain of the Watch. 2 white, 4 colorless, 3/3 vigilance. Other soldiers, creatures you control get +1/+1, have vigilance. And when this card enters the battlefield, create 3 1/1 soldier creature tokens. 2/2s. Entrapment Maneuver. 1 white, 3 colorless. Instant target player sacrifices an attacking creature. You create X 1/1 soldier creature tokens where X is that creature's toughness. Oh, you're attacking me with a big guy? Great. I'll make a bunch of 1/1s. Hour of Reckoning. Great reprint. Keeper of the Accord. 1 white, 3 colorless. It's a 3/4 creature human soldier. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if that player controls more creatures than you, create a 1/1 soldier creature token. At the beginning of each opponent's end step, if the player controls more lands than you, you may search your library for a basic plains, put it on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Marshal's Anthem, the reprint. Martial Coup, the great reprint. Secure the Wastes. Great tokens. Black Market, another great reprint. Lethal Scheme. Lethal Scheme, 2 black, 2 colorless. Instant Convoke. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. Each creature that convoked gets to Convine. Stolen Strategy, 1 red, 4 colorless. Enchantment at the beginning of your upkeep. Exile the top card of each opponent's library. Until end of turn, you may cast spells from among those cards exiled. And you may spend mana as if it was any color. Anguish Unmaking, great reprint. Assemble the Legion, another great reprint. Fervent Charge, another reprint. Ronus Ultimatum, and before this card was reprinted, it was $7. I bet it's going to drop like a rock now. It's a great card. For 2 red, 2 black, 3 white, destroy all non-opponents, or destroy all non-land permanents your opponents control. Great way to completely wipe the board. Canyon Sloop, Clifftop Retreat, Dragon Skull Summit, Isolated Chapel, Shadow Blood Ridge, Smoldering Marsh, Temple of Malice, Temple of Silence, Temple of Triumph, Windbrisk Heights, Mirrored Landscape, Nomad Outposts, Path of Ancestry, Tainted Fields, Tainted Peak, Terramorphic Expanse. And let's look at these full art lands. These are gorgeous. I think the plans by themselves are a great reason to buy these decks, but so far there's a ton of value in here. And I'm a huge fan of these lands. They're just gorgeous. And then you get a triple thick stock Commander card. This one's the Caesar, Legion's Emperor. I don't use those, though. I know some people that do, so to each their own. Robots. Token. Treasure token. Copy. Treasure. Robot. Junk. Copy. Junk. Copy. Human soldier. Soldier. Human soldier. Soldier. Treasure. Soldier. Food. Warrior. Food. Warrior. Soldier. Advertisements. Popular formats of Magic. And, of course, let's go ahead and take a look at the sample collector's pack booster. There's only 2 cards in here. Let's go ahead and see what they're like. See if they're worthwhile. Advertisement. So, Full Art Temple of Malice. And a Mr. Gutsy. Mr. Gutsy is 2 colorless mana. It's a 1/1 artifact creature robot soldier. Whenever you cast an aura or equipment spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Mr. Gutsy. When Mr. Gutsy dies, create X junk tokens where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on. This card's great. Great for a lot of different decks. Can't wait to put this in my equipment deck. It's a great way of getting some extra draws. And, you know, making it bigger just because you're playing your deck is always good. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this opening of a Commander deck, Hail Caesar. If you have a chance, make it down to your local game store, pick up a deck before they are gone. This is a limited release set, so expect prices to not drop off the way they usually do, especially for standard sets, center sets. Seem to, you know, when they come out, they just drop like a rock. So far, these prices have not been as bad. I think that prices will go up as time will go on for these because it is such a limited run. It's not like the Doctor Who set. It is incredibly limited. My local game store is almost 100% sold out if they're not already sold out. So get out to your local game store, pick them up. If you can't find them any there, go to TCG Player, pick them up when you can. And good luck. Have a great week, and keep them rolling.
And thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please take the time to like the video and subscribe if you'd like to stay updated. Have a great day, and keep them rolling.